Thank you very much, Sahar. There's very thoughtful results from our survey. We now want to turn our attention to our first panel. Our first panel is chaired by Dr. John Schneider. Over the course of his career, he has held roles in government, academia, and industry. John led the development of a natural hazard risk assessment for the Government of Australia. He was a member of the UN Office for Disaster Risk Reduction's Science and Technology Advisory Group from 2012 to 2017. And since 2016, John has been at the helm of the Global Earthquake Model Foundation as the Secretary General. John, over to you.
Sonia, thank you very much. It is indeed my pleasure to have the opportunity to chair this first panel. The panel that we're going to be discussing here is to address lessons learned for enhancing governance mechanisms that will enable geological survey organizations in their role in support of disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation. I think it's interesting, we learned from some of the survey results presented just now by Sahar that there are many mechanisms for enabling the roles of GSOs in delivering science to decision making, and many of them may be perhaps not may be surprising, or maybe things that we can all share and learn from one another. Different approaches that may work in different environments. Our speakers today come from Canada and the US, and I must say, through their geological surveys and emergency management organizations, Canada and the US have been leaders in the development of both the hazard and risk information underpinning risk and the risk assessment processes from those, as well as in the application of this information to public policy, public awareness, and indeed direct risk reduction actions. So our speakers, firstly, Malaika Omi is a Public Safety Geoscience Program Manager for the Geological Survey of Canada. Malaika is a geoscientist who has worked for 20 years on the science policy interface through natural hazard research and its applications. Initially with the Geological Survey of Canada, she worked on international development programs in South America, and more recently has been applying earthquake risk assessments at local to national scales, and working very hard to connect all of the actors and all of the various scales with stakeholders. So Malaika brings a wealth of knowledge and experience. Our second speaker is Matthew Godso, who is Director of the Resilience and Economic Integration Division at Public Safety Canada. He's held a number of scientific, policy, and executive positions within Public Safety Canada and the Defence Research and Development Canada. He's particularly interested in also the scalable policy interventions that increase whole of society disaster resilience. Very challenging questions indeed. And third, Michael Grimm is the Assistant Administrator for the Risk Management Directorate within the Federal Emergency Management Agency of the US. He's worked to improve coordination, collaboration, and transparency across various levels of government, to align national mitigation policies on reducing risk, and to promote more disaster resilient communities. I think all of us probably know some of the the leading programs that FEMA has led. I think beginning with HAZUS back in the 1990s, flood hazard mapping and insurance programs, building science programs, and so forth. So FEMA has very much led, provides strong leadership in the emergency management domain. So with that, I'd like to, I guess, roll the tape. We have the three presentations recorded, and then following those presentations, we'll have time for question and answer. So please feel free to provide questions in the Q&A, and we'll get to those after the presentations. Thanks very much.